Hey guys, welcome back to Bonsai Crazy. Hope you're all well. Earlier in the week I did a trunk chop on my olive tree, my standard tree that I did an air layering on, or tried to do an air layering on, and it didn't work. So if you don't remember, earlier in the year I did the same with my other one. I chopped it a little bit lower, it wasn't quite low enough, and so I chopped it a little bit lower and it's blossomed. It's really coming along quite well. So, but it's a bit too vigorous. Plus, I only want a certain couple of branches, so I don't want to get a big ball around the trunk. So I need to cut a few of these back. But at the same time, I'm gonna take it out of the pot and have a little look around where this Nebari is, where I can start a Nebari and then put it back in the pot, and hopefully the Nebari will start happening for me. There is a little bit of a bulge down the bottom here, so I wanted to have a quick look at that as well. So I'm just gonna zoom you in closer and I'll show you which brushes I'm going to keep and what I'm going to chop off. Alright guys, so down the bottom here we've got a lot of room there, and then you come around here and you've got this real big bulge in the trunk. Now it's not very pretty at all, so we're going to have to try and have a look and see what we can do about that. But the actual Nebaris, they start a little bit lower down, so I'm definitely going to get it out of the pot and have a look. So I brought you up to the branches, and there's quite a lot coming out of the one place here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably about 7 branches coming out of there at the same place. Now I only want the one, and I think I'm going to keep this one here because it's the longest and because it's directly in the middle of the bulge. So I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to get rid of all of the rest here. There we go, and that's gotten that bulge down a little bit. So it's actually a perfect branch, that one, because it comes out right in the centre of that bulge, and hopefully that will all fill out eventually. So as I swing you around, then we've got this little branch here that is coming out on that same bulge, and it's directly opposite, so we can't have that. So we're gonna take that one off too. And we've got this little tufty here, and that's not on the same plane as this one here. And as you come round, we've got this one here which is on the same plane, but should I keep it? That is the question. We've got 3 coming out of the same place, so let's get rid of one of them, and we'll take out any of this little baby crotch growth in there just so we can see it. So now we're up the top, and we've got this one here that I'm going to keep as a feeder branch, and then we've got three coming out the same place. So I'm going to get rid of this top one here, and I think I'm going to keep this longer one, this here. And then we'll get rid of this little baby one next to it. Just like that. And anything else that wants to grow in that crotch we'll just take away. So this is going to be our leader. And this is going to be a feeder branch. And likewise this one's going to be a feeder branch. Or we could possibly use it in the final design. But they are opposite each other, so we can't really do that. So now next on the list, I'm going to keep that next on the list, and I'm keeping that as a feeder as well. So this will be a feeder branch, or possibly a branch, depending on what this turns out to look like. Now I'm going to take this out of the pot, and we're going to have a good look at this root system. So right, without disturbing it too much, I'm just gonna, I know it's not tied in, because I never tied it in with anything. So I'm just gonna pop it out. Gonna have a little gander and see what's happening. I did say I wasn't going to do a complete repot, but I do want to have a really good look, just so I can know what to do with this big bulge, because this big bulge is bothering me a bit, and I need to start fairly soon on the roots, because if I don't start soon on the roots, it will never have a good Nebari. So I'm just trying to sort out what I actually have here and what I can use as a Nebari, really. So some of this soil is the soil that it had when it was in a standard pot, when it was a standard tree. So you can see all that soil. I didn't get all the way in there. So now's the time to do it. It's a bit dry, I know it is, but I knew I was going to do this, so I purposely haven't watered it for a couple of days, just to make sure that I could get this process done. So as you can see, it looks really all quite gnarly and stuff, doesn't it? It's not been great. It doesn't look great at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this away. I'm going to take it downstairs. I'm going to give it a good rinse. Get rid of some more of this soil. And we'll make a decision on it. Alright guys, so using the stick that I got from Dan from the Bonsai project, I'm going to point out what we're going to do here. So we've got this big gnarly thing going on here, and it's not really doing much for the trunk. And the actual Nebari could be much lower down here and here. So I do feel we're going to have to chop this bit away. I was hoping to maybe keep it, but as you can see, that's just broken anyway. So decision's made. We're going to chop this around here. There you go, and that's just made that a little bit prettier. That'll all start going gnarly again. I'll put some cut paste around that. So we've got this little lump here now as well. I'm just going to get rid of that as well. As you can see, that's made that look a whole lot better already. And this can start growing to possibly become the Nebari. Because we've got this branch here, which is coming out and splays out into two, which is quite nice. And get rid of some more of this mud here. So Dan's stick is a very nice stick, and it's doing the job for me, Dan, so thank you very much, mate. It really is a nice little stick, that, mate. Alright, so that's going to come down, that'll be part of our Nebari, okay? Alright, and anything else around here I'm just going to leave, because we need to leave some on. And then we've got this little lump here. I'm going to just get rid of that as well. And then that one, those two really, they start coming up. I don't really want to get rid of all of it. So I'm just going to separate them a bit. And I think what I'll do is I'll chop this one down there, and I'll chop that one there. I really don't want to be doing too much root work, but that sets that up now to be another bit of a Nebari. And it's pretty much on the same plane as this. We can always chop that off in the future anyway. And then we come around and we got this piece here. Now I quite like that, and that gives you another plane of a Nebari. It's got some roots on it, but it's got two fighting each other. So one's longer than the other. But for now, I'm going to keep the pair of them. I'll keep the pair of them for now, and we'll see what happens in the future. Because I really don't want to be chopping off. I really don't want to be chopping off anything else. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to give this a little bit more of a clean, and get a brush on this and really get this dirt out of around here, and then I'm going to put it back in the pot. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so there we go, guys. There's I've had a little play about with it, and it's not looking so sad now, so I'll leave that as it is. I'm going to get this repotted into this pot. Now I haven't figured out the front yet. That all depends on the Nebari, and we can always, there'll be much more growth here, so I'm not worried about it growing at all. I'm not worried about where the front is for now. I'm gonna let it pop again, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna just finish off and put some soil in the bottom. It's a smaller pot because that will help create the Nebari. A little bit more in there. I think it's sitting a little bit taller. And we're just going to fill this up, and we're going to use Dan's chopstick to help us. Now this is a very important step to do. It gets all the soil and everything you need in between the roots, and it makes the tree a bit more sturdy, stops air getting in there and right in the roots basically. So try not to skip this step unless it's really not necessary, but in most cases it is necessary, so get used to doing it. It does take a while, but that's part of the process. And if you like bonsai and you like the process of bonsai, what's the point in rushing? Now I haven't tied this tree in, and I'm not going to tie the tree in. Personally, I do believe if you tie the tree in, yeah, if it knocks off your table or whatever, I leave it on the floor, so it's not going to knock off the table. But if it knocks off the table, it'll fall out, and the wind will get it, and all the rest of it. But in nature, you don't have something propping up a tree. The tree does it by its roots. So my own personal view is to let it, something small like this, just to let it be, and then the wind blowing it will actually strengthen the trunk, it will strengthen the roots, and you'll end up with a bigger, fatter Nebari a little bit quicker. So there's my update on my olive tree. I'm going to give this a real good watering now. I've chosen some primary branches. They may not turn out to be the primary branches that I'm going to keep. Like I say, I'm just going to let it pop again now. There'll be branches coming out from anywhere else, probably in the same places, but you know, perhaps I got it wrong on choosing these ones. So hopefully it'll all pop out, and we'll have another choice, and we'll find out how the Nebari's going in a few months' time, like year or so. But for now, I think it's not too bad. I'm just going to put, where's that cut gone? See, that cut's gone already, you don't even see it. Gonna give this a little clean up, proper water down, and I might put a little bit of cut paste around there, but to be honest, I think it'll be alright. It'll grow back and be all gnarly there, so it won't be too bad. So for now, please give us a like and subscribe, that'd be great. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do that and follow this tree throughout its years, and I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers. Ta-da.